Welcome back, guys, to Factorio Meiosis. This is episode number 18. That's right. It has been resurrected from the dead. It has been 1 month and 1 week, roundabouts, since the last Factorio Meiosis episode. So what happened? Where did it go? I have spent, I think, right about 104 hours in this map so far up to this point. And I just got a little bit burnt out on this series because of how tedious it can be to kill all the aliens all the time. You really have to fight tooth and nail with the aliens at max spawn situation to get all of your real estate, constantly fighting. And I realized I did this to myself, right? I purposely put these settings in the map. I didn't need to, and I kind of knew this would happen. I like the feeling. The reason I did it is I like the feeling that at any moment, if you let your defenses slip for even 1 minute, you will become overrun and destroyed. The next Factorio series I do, which will probably be a modded series after we finish Meiosis, I will probably not play with these settings now that I've lived in this type of world for so long. But I do like it, but it does get grindy. I like the settings, but they get grindy. So I got a little bit worn out of the series, so I decided to take like a week and a half break from the series. And during that time, the developers of Factorio let us know that 0.13, the latest patch, was about to come out. They put out patches the last couple years, one patch every year, and they are fairly significant, and I knew this one was going to change a lot. So I decided to wait for that patch to come out, and I did, and it is a doozy. So I spent about 8 hours trying to fix my map. The 0.13 patch is out. If you're on Steam and you want to use the 0.13 patch, you've got to go into your Steam library, right-click on the Factorio, then go down to Properties, then go to the Betas tab, and you've got to select the 0.13 patch. I would just select the one with the highest number on it. So right now I think I'm in 0.13.8. And it has a whole bunch of new things. I've spent several hours, many hours fixing my map. So this episode, we're going to go over the changes because there are a lot. Right away, you can probably notice there's a bunch of buttons up here that didn't used to be there. Some of them do things that you could already do. So this just is like hitting escape button. This is just like hitting your P button for the production tab. Those shortcuts still exist. You can still hit P, still hit escape. Then we've got the bonuses. This is new. This is one of the changes and really handy. This lets you see all of the things you've researched and what their effects are. So for instance, I've got a bonus of 120% increased damage to these ammo types and the Defender capsule. And I've got a shooting speed increase of 160%. So this kind of stuff, you always had to kind of just try to add things up on your fingers or make spreadsheets. Now it's all here in one window, super convenient. You can move it around like any other window. Then there is the map. So we've got 3 of these that I feel like these are kind of redundant. Hitting M for map, P for production, and escape for the menu. They really, I mean, the bonuses tab is nice. Then we've got a brand new train interface. So from here, several of the additions, by the way, were popular mods that have been incorporated into the map. This is one of them. Right here, we can see every train I have in existence. And if we click on one, we can see where it's going. We've got a new interface here for setting up train routes. And we'll get into that in a bit. And you can change locomotives. So one of the mods I used to use did this very thing. It gave you a selection of like 8 or 10 different colors for locomotives. Now you can have a whole range of colors. You can just fiddle with the color sliders to your heart's content. So one of the things that happened when I updated the map and I decided not to use that mod anymore is all of my locomotives disappeared. If you do use that mod, they have released a patch for it and you haven't updated to 0.13. They've got a patch that converts the locomotives to the default one. So be sure to get that patch before you upgrade your map if you use that color mod, whatever it is. I think it's in my description. If it's not, I'm not sure. I talked about it in a previous episode. Go look at that. If you're using the mod. If you're using the mod, you probably know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's one thing. What was that? The map. Trains. Then we've got achievements. Now, I'm playing with the the Steam platform, right? So I think these are integrated no matter what platform you play from. There's a number of different achievements. I haven't really put I haven't put any time into working on them, but you can see a lot of them we kind of missed because I had already researched almost everything before updating the map, before these became available. So research oil processing, we already did that, but I don't have this achievement yet. You can also track things like this if you want to figure out how you're doing on achievements or keep an eye on something. Or if you've got something like this, supply the player with 10K item deliveries by logistics robots. If it's got a progress bar, you can track that. I think this could probably be a little bit more minimal. I think this icon could be smaller, and it could take up less of the screen. Because if you want to track like 8 of these, it's going to take up your whole screen. This one's got a progress bar, and this one does too. You can see what that would look like. And you can unfollow them there. So that's pretty neat. Okay, what's next? Those are the UI buttons. I think several of them are redundant. I think this could all be, this is their first pass at this, so they're going to keep working on it, but I think it could be redesigned to be a little bit more minimal, not take up so much screen size. Next, the research has been updated, at least the way it is organized. We now have the first pass at tech trees. So this will look different if you're just starting out. So if you're just starting out, like, let's see, what was first? What did we research first? If I can even find it, since we've done so much. It would have been... Oh, let's find this one. Logistics. Okay, so if you're starting here, this will be yellow, meaning it's available to be researched like these, and everything beneath it will be red. So you can see how one thing leads to another in one big, well, it's a tech tree. And I think it looks nice. It's a lot easier to follow. I still have this one left to do. And you can track the bonuses. I still have flamethrower damage upgrade. And the one actually I want to do, which we need to talk about next, is the inserter capacity bonus 7, the last one. This is very important because the way inserters work has been totally revamped. And there's new inserters. Previous inserters have been renamed. We'll go over what that means and why it's important. So I need these last 2 bonuses. Let's start that researching. Important thing is that there are 2 more inserters than there used to be. Filter inserters used to be smart inserters. They renamed those because they updated a whole bunch of stuff having to do with networks and logic systems that use the red and green wires and the combinators and all that kind of really complicated stuff, which I've never really dived into. I would like to get to that someday, but they made it so that basically everything in the game you can add to that. Let's see, what do I have that... Actually, let's just put you down. Okay, so you can now click on these, and it'll bring up a little window, and you can add it to a circuit network now in a logistics network. Previously, the only inserter you could do that with is smart inserters. Basically, what I'm saying is all the inserters are smart now, so they had to rename the smart inserter something a little bit more accurate. It's now the filter inserter. It's purple, used to be green, so that's the confusing part. It's now purple. The green one is new, and that is called a stack inserter, and that's this guy. So right now, because of my bonuses, you can see that my normal inserters, everything but the stack ones, we've got a stack inserter and a stack filter inserter, the white one. Everything but those 2 has a capacity bonus of 1, which means those things are picking up 2 items at a time if they're moving from one inventory to another. If they're going from belt to belt, they can only do 1. The stack inserter has a capacity bonus of 10, which means it's picking up 11. And you can see what it's doing now. Now, previously, the inserter bonus only worked for moving from one inventory to another. It was much harder to do things like saturate a belt full of items like this, but the new stack inserter solves that problem, and it lets you pick up 10 items at once, and it can put them all on a belt. And after we get this inserter capacity bonus 7, I should be able to saturate this entire belt with only 4 of these things instead of 6. So why is that important? That means basically everything I'm making, everything I've designed, is now going to be much slower. Previously, I took advantage, everybody did. Everybody took advantage of inserter stack size bonus to do things like take 5 copper cables and place them directly into an assembler, making electronic circuits. With that, you only need, with the old inserter bonus, you only needed 1 fast inserter, and it could do the job, really. Unless you're using a bunch of upgrade modules, maybe you would have to upgrade your inserters at a certain point. Okay, but now it's only transferring 2 at a time instead of 5. So what I need to do, I haven't done this yet, I need to go back and basically upgrade all of my fast inserters to stack inserters. Nothing's happening right now because the lines are backed up. But that's an important change. But it's a good change. I really like the diversity that allows, because it allows us to put a lot of items on a belt quickly. And that's going to affect everything. I'm going to have to make new train stops, new basically everything. Did we look at these already? Yeah, we did. The cargo wagons have new graphics. So this is their open phase. They've got panels that are open while they're potentially loading, even though these guys are full. And when they take off, they will close up. So they got new animations. And they fixed a problem that has been in the game for a long time. We are not looking directly down. This is not an absolute overhead perspective. It's actually closer to 45 degrees. If we were looking directly overhead, we would not see the sides of anything. We wouldn't see the sides of the inserter, or the train, or my body. We would just see head and shoulders and the tops of all this stuff. So why that's important is because trains, when they go from this perspective to a vertical perspective, they used to get shorter because of the angle of the camera, and that made it so that if you were making an unloading station, like right here, perfect example, the trains used to be shorter here. So this doesn't, see how this doesn't line up anymore? This inserter is now hitting this cargo wagon. The trains used to be shorter from this perspective, so everybody would make their train stops horizontal. They fixed the length, though, so they're the same length no matter if they're running horizontally or vertically, which opens up a lot of possibilities for new train stops. Let me look at my list. I do have notes. Oh yeah, the rail planner. Okay, so the way that rails are made has also changed. There is no longer the ability to make a curved track, because now, let me grab some rails from one of my cars. Now, you no longer place the rails down one at a time. You place them procedurally. So if you just place one like that, it will just place one. But if you hover over it, over an existing rail line, you will get this green arrow. And with that, you can kind of just move your mouse around, and it will draw the line you want. And you can see how there's kind of like a limit there to how far we can go. Now, if you want to just keep running and going, you hold down Shift. And that will allow you to basically have an unlimited length of rail line, and it will just try to figure out where what the best way to go is, and you'll have to fiddle with it to get it to work for you. You can also rotate the piece to change the way it's working. So if I rotate that with the R button, it's going to procedurally just figure out the best way you can find to get to that. So that's really neat. It allows you to place rail really quickly, and you could probably you can drive a train and do that, I guess. I did have some fun with this. I did a live stream where I was looking at the changes, and we made a mini game, which I'll try to go look at the end. This is Dodgems. This is where you try not to die. That's the mini game. There's a few new weapons, or rather, one new weapon and one reworked weapon. Let's see, did I pick them up? Yeah, okay, so new weapon, cluster grenades. Bam! And there's new research associated with it to increase the damage of the grenades and also of the fire, which I haven't quite got to yet. So these things, they take, let's look at the recipe. They take oil to make because they need explosives, and we've had an oil shortage. I'm very close to hopefully solving that. After the next wave of alien killing, we're going to get all of these oil sources here. And all the ones down here, several there. That's going to help immensely. And when we get that, we can mess around with these, because I'll be able to actually make them. So that's one new weapon, the cluster grenade. They also reworked the flamethrower. I did set up a little area to make the flame ammo. Let's run down here and see if I've actually made any. It takes oil as well. It takes, yeah, Yeah, it takes light oil and heavy oil. Let's see if any has been created. 2. What are you missing? Iron? Where would you get iron from? From there. You've got plenty of that. Yeah, I just don't have enough of that, but we can do a brief demonstration. They've reworked entirely the fire mechanic. And let's get to a little open area. Okay, here is the new fire mechanic. Yes, fire! So the fire, in addition to looking cool, it's much more effective against aliens. It lights the ground and they will take damage running through it. And you will too, as you can see from my life bar here. And that seems to bypass shields. Do I not have any shields equipped? Yeah, I got one. Okay, I guess it bypasses shields. Look at that. You can also create forest fires, which is a fast and easy way to knock down a bunch of trees if they're in your way. And also, I didn't mention this before, another thing they added, there's so many additions. That's why the patch is massive. It changes so much. It's a really great patch. Great patch, best patch. The different armor sets create or give you a bonus to your inventory size. You can see I've got a lot of stuff here. If I pick that up, you can see I lose 3 lines of inventory space there, which is what, 30? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it looks like 30 spots in my inventory. This is the highest level armor, so the lower tiers provide less. I think you get 1 line from the 2 lines from Armor Mark 1 and 1 line from the modular armor. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, I went over that. Oh yeah, and there's a new turret, which I also can't make for similar reasons. And it is the flamethrower turret, which needs to be supplied with crude oil from pipes. That sounds awesome, but I can't really... Once we have a bunch of oil, we're going to play with all this stuff. Another new thing. When you mouse over a turret, it shows you the actual range, so no more guessing to see if your turret line is set up in a good manner, or if it's going to hit the thing you want it to hit. That's another new thing. Let's see, we went over the trains. The train UI is a little bit different. I do have a locomotive on me. All right, so let's plop down a locomotive. So one thing they changed, you can see where it is on the map. You can add coal there, change the color there. Important thing they added, for instance, is they added a whole bunch of conditions for how long to stay at a given stop. Previously, you were kind of limited to just telling it how long to wait, but now you've got a whole bunch of stuff, and you can give it multiple conditions if you want. So you can have it like wait for 30 seconds past and a cargo of more than 0, or you can have you can change that to or a cargo of less than 0, which that doesn't make sense. But you see what I mean? You can set up a lot more complicated systems for how your trains move to and fro, and maybe that'll be important to us later. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, next. Yes, I'm not done. We're not even close to done. Blueprints. They look different. They've got a different artwork, but they also display differently when you mouse over them. And even more important than that is the blueprint book. This is awesome. As you know from watching this series, storing blueprints, managing blueprints has been a major hassle. I installed a mod for it, which I also don't have anymore. No mods installed right now. I might install more later. Okay, but the blueprint book takes 15 advanced circuits, which sounds like a lot. But when you craft one, you can store 30 blueprints inside of it. And look at this here. I'll just put this on my bar here. If you hold down shift and move your mouse wheel, you can just rotate through them. So these are all my balancers and yeah, all the belt related blueprints that I had are stored in one single book, very nicely organized. So I've got some turret ones. These are the ones for creating the stone roads, all in one resource tile. And then I've got another one for the rail lines. Super awesome. All in one spot. Really good. Okay, so that's another thing. What else, Zisteau? There can't possibly be more. Well, guess what? There is more, sucker. There is a really important change, which I'm not going to use a lot of, but will be very handy. Previously on Zisteau Plays Factorio, I was extending my road network, and I came into a problem. I ran into a problem where I was trying to build a road, and I realized I didn't really have room to build a road on this side. And this side had too much stuff on it already. What I might do is I might move this stuff and build a road on this side, have it go through here and go through here. But that still gives us the problem that we don't have enough room right here to place that road. Well, the game has got you covered now, because now you can do Landfill. This is another mod that a lot of people use that is now incorporated directly into the game. With 20 stone, you can fill in one space and turn it into grass. So now if I don't intend to fill in huge lakes and stuff, because I like the water features. They make the maps interesting and nice to look at. They create diversity in your terrain choices, whatever. But for little places like this, where I just don't quite have enough space to place my road, we can deal with that. That's pretty good. Okay, anything else? Oh yeah, there's more. I'm not done. So, previously, when Zisteau plays Minecraft, Factorio, when you would take either an underground belt or an underground pipe and you would hold it down and you would run like that, they would place like this. They would place as close as they possibly could. And if you're holding it down and just running, you're not trying to have them placed like that. You're trying to take one item from one distance, one place, and take it all the way down to wherever you're trying to get to. So that was counterintuitive, and it made doing this really tedious. But now it automatically places them as far as they can go. So if you want to have only underground belts or only underground pipes for, let's see, like this right here, these blue dots, these are underground pipes. I have to, when I'm placing those, I do have some. I would have to do this. I would have to place these two, and then I'd have to sit here and go like, oh, is this max? No, this is max. Wait, no, okay, that's max. Okay, next. And it's very tedious. It was very slow. Now you can just do this. Just hold it down and run. So, quality of life change, but super handy. Okay, let's pick all these up. All right, anything else? There are also just a whole bunch of changes to the way networks work. And by networks, I mean the red wire, the green wire, the combinators, all that kind of logic system stuff that I haven't really gotten into. There are tons of changes with that, and updates and improvements. And I'm not really going to go over them because I don't really mess around with them, so I wouldn't even know what I'm talking about. And they're not relevant to this world anyway. So there's that. Okay. Oh, is that it? I think I covered most of the big stuff. Okay, let's go look at the minigame. So, this minigame, it's called Dodgems. I haven't really tried to make it balanced, or I haven't refined it. It was just a funny idea. So, let's run down here. The idea is you start up the train and you try to run through the tracks without dying. And this is the way we're going to do it. We're going to have it be something like this, and you might be able to set up something with like a logic network. So you'd run through here, and it would count for you. I guess if you had some gate blocks, I think those might trigger a network, and you can have them count. And you need sort of like a triangle formation. Something like that. Okay, so that's one gate up there, one gate there. And then we'll have one gate right over here. Here we go. This is mostly just to see how funny it is when Zisteau dies. Because everybody likes watching that. Okay, here we go. So, what you have to do, you got to start up the train, and then you got to zoom all the way in as far as your map will go, and then your scroll wheel should have little notches in it. If you have one of those free rolling ones, I don't know what to tell you. So you're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 ticks on your scroll wheel, so you're at about this distance. There's a better way to figure out the range of the zoomed-in camera. I don't know it. Okay, so this has got 2 stops just to make sure it goes, and it goes super-duper fast. And then we're going to go from this gate to the gate at the top. We're going to go clockwise to the gate at like 5 o'clock. See how quick it goes? Okay, here we go. The goal is not to die, and you've got to run through the gates. Oh, that was oh my god, that was close. Okay, the order you go through the gate doesn't matter. If you enter through the top, exit through the bottom, doesn't matter. You just have... I think the level could maybe be designed a little bit better to force you through more of the tracks. This was just me fiddling around with the new track lane mechanic and having some silly fun. In fact, the more of these gates you have and you put it in a star pattern, the more the player... I can't even... Oh, yeah, up here. The more the player would have to run through the tracks and couldn't just sort of skirt along the outside. You would, in fact, probably have to have some kind of, like, wall to prevent the player from just hanging out in the safe zone the whole time. I haven't been hit yet, which is kind of amazing. Oh, didn't quite go all the way through. We did this live on the live stream, and I got killed quite a few times. Maybe the camera needs to be a little bit closer. Maybe, yeah, 10 clicks is too far zoomed out. You need 5 clicks. 5 clicks max. Okay, it's kind of hard to see the gate, though. So, there could be some level designs to help you find the gate and kind of direct you as you're running through the tracks. I haven't died yet. I thought that would be a funny way to end the video. I guess we're just gonna keep playing until Ow! God! Until I get killed. Okay, yeah, that's it for the episode. Next time, we will move on and build new things. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.